Hi, this is the last in a series of 3 videos put together to get you started with the Tacview Recorder mod for Arma 3. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos in this series, you might want to do so, and there are links in the description. As I've said in the previous videos, because Arma is not a supported game in Tacview, I've had to generate some custom content for it. Unfortunately, there's no Steam workshop for Tacview, so getting hold of the custom content and getting it installed is going to be a little bit trickier than it was for the Arma mod. I've uploaded the content to Google Drive, which you can see here. The link will be in the workshop page for the mod and is also in the description of this video. It is worth reiterating that you don't strictly need any of this to view the recordings in Tacview. It will work just fine with the recording as it comes out of the Arma mod. You won't have the map or terrain data, and that might be fine where the map you're playing on is loosely based on a real-life location, such as Stratus or Altus. It's also worth noting that the data comes straight out of the Arma game engine. It is absolutely not my work, and of course we have the DLC and mod makers to thank for all the wonderful locations we have in which to play. Presuming that you would like the map data in Tacview, you need firstly the add-on for Tacview, as well as any maps you'd like to play. For the purpose of this video, I'll just use Altus as an example. Each time I add new map data to Tacview, I'll also need to add support for it in the add-on, so if you're coming here to grab more map data in the future, it's worth making sure you always have the latest add-on. I'll try to ensure add-on releases coincide with the releases of the Arma mod in Steam, so this shouldn't get confusing or messy. Once you've downloaded the content, we need to put it someplace Tacview can find. There are a couple of choices, but I'm only going to show you what I consider to be the most sensible. The Tacview documentation explains where custom content can be stored if you'd like to customize the process. If you open up Windows Explorer and go to the App Data section of your user profile, which should be easily found by typing App Data, surrounded by percentage marks, percentage symbols, then you'll see that Tacview, when it was installed, has created a directory for itself and a skeleton folder structure here. Each of the packages you've downloaded from Google Drive has the same structure within them, so you can unzip them directly into this folder. However you choose to do so, just ensure that the folders called Data and Add-ons end up in this folder. At this point, you can start up Tacview. If I open up a mission I had previously recorded from Altus, then at this point I could just zoom in and watch the action. However, it won't yet look great. Even though I've added the map data to Tacview, it can't associate that content with Arma recordings. Tacview has the concept of layers for its terrain data. There are built-in layers for the set of supported games. Now, I'd dearly love to add a custom layer here for Arma 3, but at this point it doesn't appear that I can do so. So I've had to appropriate one of the built-in ones. EECH is Enemy Engaged Comanche vs. Hokum. This is a game that I think is going on 20 years old now, and it's not one that I've got, so I've chosen to add Arma content to its layer. If this is a game you do play and you'd like to add the maps elsewhere, then let me know and I'll write up some documentation on how to change the layer. It's not hard, but it is a bit fiddly. Once you've selected the each layer, you'll see the Arma map come up. The images are quite large, so it can take a few seconds for them to display clearly. At this point, you can use Tacview perfectly happily to watch a recording from Arma. However, in addition to the custom map content, I've also written a custom add-on for Tacview in an attempt to improve the experience of viewing recordings from a game that is not so intently focused on air assets. Just as the custom maps are not essential, neither is the add-on. Have a play with it and see if it's useful to you. You can enable it by going into the add-ons menu and clicking the Arma 3 Tools entry. There's a bunch of processing the add-on does when you first load a mission, so if you've just enabled it, you'll also need to reload the mission. Once you've enabled the add-on, that choice is persisted across Tacview Restart, so you won't have to do it again. Let's talk about what the add-on adds or changes in Tacview. Under the add-ons menu, you'll now see an entry for the Arma 3 tools. The first option is Remove AI Unit Call Signs. When Tacview displays a unit, it labels it with some text letting you know what it is. The default text shown is the value of the call sign field for the unit. What I'm exporting from Arma in that field is the unit's designation on the battlefield, as presented by the game engine. When I first started putting this mod together, it was pointed out to me that when you're watching a recording of a large number of AI units, you typically don't care what unit they're attached to. You care about what they are and how much damage they could have done to you. So if you enable this option, then the call signs will be removed, and in their place, Tacview will show you the name, which in Tacview parlance means the type of the unit. And if you disable the option again, things will go back as they were, which is a useful place to be if you were in fact looking at perhaps your own AI troops and wondering where each squad has gone. Hiding dead objects. The default behavior for Tacview when an infantry unit gets destroyed is to leave it on that battlefield, but grayed out. In a battlefield with a large number of units, this can quickly get cluttered, so this option actually removes the units from the battlefield completely, either immediately upon death or 60 seconds later. 60 seconds in game time, that is. I found this option useful because it highlights units as they die, as they turn grey, but then quickly gets them out of the way lest they clutter up the display. Map markers. There are two options under here. The first is simply whether to display ellipse markers using the Tacview threat bubbles or not. Turn it off and the ellipse markers won't be displayed at all. And the final option is whether or not to display the marker icons. In addition to turning them off, you also have 3 different sizes to choose from. This is somewhat necessary because drawing the markers at a fixed size doesn't suit the range of zooms you could be using, from when you're zoomed out for an overview of the battlefield to when you're zoomed in tight to watch squad level action. I'd very much like to find a way to make this automatic, such that the add-on can choose for itself an appropriate size to draw the icons, but I haven't yet determined how to do this. That's it for now. I've got a lot of ideas I'd like to implement in this add-on to enrich the recordings from Arma, but that's for the future.